When Amanda placed the divorce papers in front of David, she felt victory within reach. "I'm leaving you, and I'm taking half of everything," she said with a smile. David calmly smiled back and opened his briefcase. "Actually, Amanda, I filed for divorce 6 months ago, and you're taking nothing."
David Harrison, 38 years old, was a successful financial advisor living in Dallas, Texas. He was the founder of Harrison Financial Group, managing $50 million worth of client assets. Disciplined, meticulous, always prepared, these qualities made him successful in both his career and personal life. Amanda Harrison, David's wife of 12 years, was 35 years old and a former marketing executive. She currently worked as a freelance consultant, mostly attending networking events and having expensive lunches. High-maintenance lifestyle, luxury tastes, always wanting more.
David and Amanda's marriage had been strong in the beginning. Amanda was ambitious, a rising star in her corporate career. David admired her entrepreneurial spirit. When they married in 2012, they looked like a power couple. But from 2020 onward, things changed. Amanda's career stagnated, and freelance consulting actually meant irregular income. David's business, meanwhile, thrived, especially during the pandemic when people became more focused on financial planning.
Tension points began. Amanda felt stuck in Texas and wanted to move to LA or NYC. David's business was Dallas-based, and relocating meant starting over. Amanda complained that David was small-town-minded, lacking ambition for bigger things. "You're satisfied with being a big fish in a small pond," Amanda would say. "I want more than suburban Dallas life."
David tried to accommodate. Expensive vacations, designer clothes, upgraded house, but nothing seemed enough. Amanda's dissatisfaction grew, and she began spending more time with her networking group, ambitious women who considered their husbands holding them back.
In early 2023, David noticed behavioral changes. Amanda was secretive about phone calls, had mysterious business meetings, and took extended trips to LA for consulting opportunities. Classic warning signs. But David's reaction was different from most husbands. Instead of confronting, accusing, or getting emotional, he began quietly investigating. Step 1, secure his business assets. David transferred company ownership to a trust, naming himself as trustee, but legally separating the business from marital assets. Amanda, not involved in business operations, never noticed the paperwork changes. Step 2, document Amanda's spending patterns. Credit card statements, bank transfers, mysterious cash withdrawals. David discovered Amanda was spending $8,000 to $12,000 monthly on networking, expensive dinners, designer clothes, unexplained cash withdrawals. Step 3, hire a private investigator, not for adultery, though he suspected it, but for financial misconduct. Amanda was using joint credit cards for personal expenses, claiming business deductions, potentially committing tax fraud. Step 4, consult a divorce attorney. Patricia Williams, one of Dallas's top family law attorneys, reviewed David's documentation. "You're building a strong case for financial misconduct. Texas is a community property state, but misconduct can affect distribution."
Most importantly, David discovered Amanda's plan through her own carelessness. Amanda left her laptop open with email visible, showing correspondence with her LA networking group. The emails revealed everything. Amanda wasn't networking, she was planning a divorce, with 3 other women sharing strategies for maximizing settlement outcomes. Email threads detailed hiding assets, claiming spousal support, even false domestic abuse allegations. One email was particularly damning. "David is so clueless. He has no idea what's coming. I'll file surprise papers, claim he's emotionally abusive, demand alimony, and half his business. He'll be so shocked he'll settle quickly rather than fight." David screenshot everything. Amanda's networking group was actually a divorce planning conspiracy. Her LA trips were consultations with aggressive divorce attorneys, not business meetings.
Building confidence to calm power. Armed with this knowledge, David accelerated his preparations. Legal strategy. File a preemptive divorce petition claiming irreconcilable differences but with extensive documentation of Amanda's misconduct. Asset protection. All business assets in trust. Personal assets documented with premarital origins. Timeline: David filed divorce papers in June 2023, 6 months before Amanda planned her surprise. Court records were sealed, per request. Amanda was completely unaware proceedings had begun. During this time, David continued his normal routine. Business as usual, no behavioral changes. Amanda, meanwhile, continued her preparations, believing she held all the cards. October 2023. Amanda executed her plan. David was in his home office, reviewing client portfolios, when Amanda entered carrying a manila envelope. Her demeanor was confident, almost smug. "David, we need to talk." "Sure, what's up?" Amanda placed the envelope on his desk. "These are divorce papers. I'm leaving you and I'm taking half of everything." David looked at the papers without touching them. "I see. This shouldn't come as a complete shock. We've been growing apart. I've found someone who shares my ambitions." Interesting confession. David remained calm. "I've consulted with lawyers. Texas is a community property state. I'm entitled to half your business, half your assets, plus spousal support given that I've sacrificed my career for our marriage." David nodded thoughtfully. "I'm not trying to be vindictive," Amanda continued, clearly enjoying her perceived control. "I just want what's fair. You can keep the house, but I'll need liquid assets to start my new life." "How much are we talking about?" "My attorney suggests a $2.5 million settlement plus $8,000 monthly alimony for 5 years. David did quick math. $2.5 million plus $480,000 in alimony. Nearly $3 million total. "Amanda, that's a significant amount. You can afford it. Your business is valued at over $5 million. Actually, the business was worth more, but David didn't correct her. "I've already moved my essential belongings to my new place. We can handle this amicably, or we can make it messy. Your choice." David reached for his briefcase. "Actually, Amanda, I have some papers too."
He pulled out a thick folder and placed it on the desk. "What's this?" "Well, first, these are divorce papers that I filed 6 months ago. Our marriage was officially dissolved by Texas Family Court last month." Amanda's confident expression faltered. "What?" "Second, this is documentation of your financial misconduct over the past 2 years. $180,000 in unauthorized spending, tax fraud through false business deductions, and conspiracy to defraud in divorce proceedings." Amanda's face went white. "Third, this is a transcript of your email communications with your networking group detailing your plan to falsely accuse me of emotional abuse to gain leverage in divorce settlement." Amanda stared at the papers, speechless. "Fourth, this is the asset distribution order from the court. Since our business assets were properly segregated in a premarital trust, and since you demonstrated financial misconduct, you're entitled to exactly $0 in business value." "This can't be legal." "Fifth, this is a restraining order preventing you from making false accusations or harassing me or my business clients." David paused, letting the information sink in. "And sixth, this is a criminal referral to the IRS for tax fraud and to the Dallas County DA for conspiracy charges." Amanda slumped into a chair. "David, you can't. We can work this out." "Actually, we already did work it out, in court, 6 months ago, while you were planning to surprise me. But my attorney said—" "Your attorney assumed I was unprepared. Bad assumption."
Cold closure. Amanda began crying. I never meant for it to go this far. I felt trapped, unfulfilled. I thought a fresh start. With someone else's husband? Amanda looked up, confused. Your networking group partner, Rachel, her husband Steve, is also filing for divorce with evidence of your group's conspiracy. Apparently, encouraging wives to make false accusations is considered criminal conspiracy in Texas. Amanda's tears stopped. You investigated all of us? I protected myself and my clients. Your plan would have destroyed not just me, but families depending on the financial security I provide. David stood up. Amanda, you have 1 hour to remove your remaining belongings from this house. After that, the restraining order takes effect. Where am I supposed to go? That's not my problem. You planned this for months. I assume you have arrangements. David, please, I know I made mistakes, but this is excessive. Excessive? You plan to falsely accuse me of abuse, steal half my business, and destroy my reputation. I simply documented your actual behavior and used the legal system appropriately. Amanda gathered her purse. My family will never forgive you for this. Your family received copies of the email evidence yesterday. They're quite disappointed in your choices. Amanda left without another word. Aftermath. Justice. 6 months later, David's life had returned to normal. Business continued growing. Client relationships were stronger than ever. The divorce had been finalized, with Amanda receiving a minimal settlement, essentially what she'd brought into the marriage originally. Amanda faced consequences. The IRS investigation resulted in a $40,000 penalty for tax fraud. Criminal charges were reduced to misdemeanor conspiracy in exchange for cooperation against other members of her networking group. She moved back to her parents' house in Oklahoma, struggling to find employment given the legal issues and reputation damage. Victory, future. David received periodic updates through Patricia Williams. Amanda's networking group had disbanded after multiple husbands filed similar divorce actions. The group's ringleader, a woman named Victoria, faced federal charges for running what essentially amounted to a divorce fraud conspiracy. 1 year later, David was featured in Dallas Business Journal as Financial Advisor of the Year. The article mentioned his expertise in asset protection and business succession planning. No mention of the personal challenges he'd overcome.
At the awards ceremony, David spotted a familiar face in the audience. Amanda, looking subdued, was applauding politely. After the event, she approached. David, congratulations. You deserve the recognition. Thank you. I wanted to apologize for everything. I was selfish, short-sighted. I destroyed our marriage and nearly destroyed you. David nodded. I appreciate the apology. Can I ask you something? How long did you know about my plans? About 8 months before you executed them. And you never said anything? What would have been the point? You'd made your decision. I just prepared for the consequences. Do you think, is there any chance for forgiveness? Amanda, forgiveness is about letting go of anger. I'm not angry anymore, but trust, once broken this completely, doesn't rebuild. I understand. I hope you find happiness, genuinely, but it can't be at someone else's expense.
2 years after the divorce, David married Emily Rodriguez, an estate planning attorney he'd met through a professional association. Emily understood financial complexity and shared his values about honesty and preparation. At their wedding, David's best man Steve, Rachel's former husband, now remarried, gave a toast about The importance of marrying someone who shares your values, not someone who sees you as an opportunity. David kept Amanda's emails in a secure file, not out of malice, but as a reminder. In financial planning, as in marriage, preparation and documentation protect against future uncertainties. The most important lesson: trust your instincts, document everything, and never assume someone else's surprise plan is bigger than your own preparation. Sometimes the best defense is good preparation and the patience to let others reveal their true intentions.